My name is A.Strongheart. Welcome to my channel. Everything is sacred. The mother is sacred. The father is sacred. The child is sacred. The life is sacred. The body, this vessel, is sacred. The soul is sacred. This journey is sacred. Each new day is sacred. It's a precious thing. God eternal is sacred. This earth is sacred. This universe is sacred. Our sacred sun. And with it being sacred, it means it needs to be taken care of. It needs to be revered. Not revered beyond what it should be, but revered and not thrown away, not put to the gutter. Everything is sacred, you know. This life is sacred. And there are so many that would try to convince you otherwise, so that you don't pour yourself into your own life, so that you don't pour yourself into your own body, so that you don't pour yourself into your connection with God, with the earth, and understanding the ebbs and the flows and the movements of this earth and our heavenly guided life. But really, that's the most innate power. The most innate power that we have is that consciousness arose within us organically, naturally, of its own accord, and continues to rise. Even though you came out of two parents, they're not responsible for your thoughts right now. Your thoughts are your own, and they arise in your own consciousness. And that awareness that you are, that awareness, that place that you're looking from, that it has occurred, is magnificent and a precious sacred gift. And we cannot create that in a lab. We cannot create that with all of our technology. We cannot create that awareness that we are the place that we are looking from. That occurs naturally and organically. And that is the source of our power. If we point that awareness towards self-embetterment, we will become better. If we point that awareness to building our bodies or to understanding crafts and skills, we will become better at those skills and crafts. This is the sacred light of our awareness, and where and how we choose to shine it, with what wisdom and what guidance and what patience and what consistency and what honorable notions we choose to focus it with. That has created all the most powerful things that have ever existed by creation of human hands. And so that is the power that we hold within us. And to focus in on that as our primary focus in life, and not fulfilling some other institution or person or tribe's wishes. And in order to do that, we have to resist the peer pressure and the shaming tactics of culture at large, of even spirituality and religion at large. And we have to stay with that first principle of that primary connection with life that is what we are. And when we stay with that, when we hold true to that, we become sovereign beings. And when we fall to the pressure of society and culture and spirituality and religions, we start to follow the status quo and repeat the mantras of that tradition to move in the direction that tradition wants us to move in. And that can be a helpful thing. It can be helpful to have some guidance. But to what ends? And can we see where it benefits us and where it doesn't? It's like what the difference between medicine and poison is dose. And so too much of the wrong thing can be poison, and just the right amount of the right thing can be medicine. And too much of the right thing can be poison, and just the right amount of the wrong thing can be medicine. And so we have to learn to discern that, to become our own practitioners for our own health of our mind and our consciousness and our emotion and our understanding. And I think one of the great things has been manipulated through spiritual, religious, and judicial, even corporate understandings is the idea of what is right and what is wrong. And we know inside of our hearts, we can feel it, we can sense it when something is right and something is wrong. That doesn't mean going with a whim of emotion. Like I've talked about in some videos of mine, emotion can come from many different levels, just like thought can come from many different levels. There can be a level of thought that is immature and unwise and menial. And there can be a level of thought that's insightful, deep, and profound. And you can use insightful, deep, profound thoughts to manipulate people. And you can use menial, readily available, run-of-the-mill thoughts to inspire people towards their greater good, and vice versa. And the same is true for emotions. There are emotions that are menial, superficial, and egoic, childish. And there are emotions that are deep and profound and striking to the core of all that's meaningful in life. And you can use either of them to manipulate and either of them to uplift. Inside of us, there is a meter, there is a place that understands what truly matters. And we can build the ability to understand that rightness, that wrongness, that centeredness, that alignedness with spirit, with God, with our soul, with karma, with destiny, with dharma. We can build it like a muscle to understand when the emotion is in tune and in line with that. When the thought, the intellectual understanding is in tune and aligned with that. And when it's out of alignment with that. And when we build that muscle to detect those things, to hone in on those things, to hold those things, to carry those things, to live those things in our lives, to hold on to what is sacred through the darkness, through the hardship, through the challenging times, and to behold in what is beautiful and pure and holy and sacred. When we build that muscle inside of our heart to hold on to that, when we build that muscle inside of our mind to grasp onto that, to clutch onto that, and to carry on with that, to carry it forward, we become our own discerners of wisdom and truth, harmony, justice, balance. But that can only be built by making that muscle inside of us. There are spiritual muscles, emotional muscles, intellectual muscles, intuitive muscles. And we have to build these muscles to detect these spiritual truths inside of us. And it's just like any other muscle. You know, if you see some elite soldiers, they've built incredible muscles. Just muscles that can carry on and power through no matter what. And some of those soldiers use those muscles for good. And some of those soldiers use those muscles for bad. And the same is true for those muscles of our mind and of our hearts and of our intuition and of our connection to God. Many people have used those muscles for good, and many people have used those muscles for bad. And so just because you have the muscle doesn't necessarily make it righteous what you're doing. I think that we build these muscles, you know, and it is a muscle. Spirituality is a muscle. Wisdom is a muscle. Emotional integrity and balance and truth and justice and harmony are muscles that we can build within our inside of our own psyche, inside of our own soul, inside of our own hearts, inside of our own minds, by aligning, finding that alignment with Creator God and walking that line with Creator God. And so we'll be a body builder, a soul builder, a mind builder, a heart builder, a wisdom builder, powerful, beautiful, strong, and healthy. Builder of the spirit, builder of the soul. And when we build those internal structures inside of us, they emanate from us in how we carry ourselves in the world. And they have ramifications for how the world reacts with us. Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Anthony Strongheart.